सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्. Om. What do we mean by Purushartha? Purushartha, one meaning is human goals. When you say Purusharthas, it refers to Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha. The word Purusha means human being. The word Artha has got several meanings in Sanskrit. When you say Kimartham, what is the meaning? So one meaning of Artha is meaning. Artha also means wealth. Artha means the goal. Artha could mean what is our choice of free will, and Artha could also mean our effort or prayatnam. But here, the first goal, the first human goal, Artha here means security. All of us seek security, and security is a very, very fundamental need. It is a question of one's own survival and basic needs like food, clothing, shelter, and so on. And because it is a fundamental need, a human being is ready to go to any extent for the sake of security. So it is a question of survival, and therefore it is a very, very fundamental requirement. That is why money and acquisition of money becomes such an important human pursuit which takes so much of our time. What is the next Purushartha is called Kama Purushartha. Once there is a certain amount of security, then after the survival of the individual, nature has provided a very special, a strong reflex called the survival of the species, which functions as Kama Purushartha, the sexual drive. In addition, Kama Purushartha means many other things. Kama means desire. When there is desire, there is life. It is something that awakes you and makes you look forward to the day. If there is no karma, there is no life. There is depression. There is no desire to live. There is no desire to work for one more day. And so Kama Purushartha is another very important Purushartha or human goal. Food. Generally, there is a question often asked to people, are you living to eat or are you eating to live? And it is almost often considered that if you are a spiritual person, you should not give too much importance to food. But then what is the reality? Even in a spiritual retreat where people are highly devoted and come for such programs, you will see the actual sessions may not be full, but the food sessions are certainly full. And generally, a spiritual director knows if the food is well provided and the food quality is good, the retreat is enjoyed much more. So it is perfectly okay to be able to relish food, to be able to enjoy food. And therefore, the guidelines is as long as karma is ethical and in moderation, Kama Purushartha is certainly a Purushartha that keeps life going. About the life of Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, there is a story that goes that he, being a great realized master, he would have his satsangs, but in between his satsangs, he would take a break, come home and ask his wife, what food do we have today? And it looked really ridiculous that how such an evolved person could have such a craving for food. And one day he told them the secret. He says, what is keeping me alive is my desire for food. And he told his wife that the moment I say no for food, you can be sure that I'm not going to live for long. And it is said one day when the food was offered, he would relish his food. He would not sit on he would sit on a swing and would relish his food. And one day when his food was offered to him, he said no. And that time, Sharada Mata broke down to tears because she remembered his words. He said, I'm not going to survive more than 3 days the day I refuse food. And after 3 days, he said to have died. The third Purushartha is Dharma Purushartha. Dharma is also called adrishtam. That means it cannot be seen. It can be taken as good fortune or punyam. Even when a beggar is begging on the street, they will tell you, please give me some dharma. You will get punya. So, dharma is the benefit that you get which cannot be seen for any good action. There is a nice story to understand this from the life of Sri Guru Nanak. He was a very rich man, and this man had a lot of wealth. And one day he realized that he had a serious illness and he would not survive for long. His main concern was, I have acquired so much wealth. Is there some way that I can take the wealth along with me? And all the spiritual teachers he went for were very clear about the fact that there is no way that you can take this currency that you have along with you. And then afterwards, finally, he reached Guru Nanak. And he asked Guru Nanak, and Guru Nanak said, the question to him was the same. I have so much money. Is there some way that I can carry it with me after my death? Guru Nanak said, certainly yes. And the man was so excited. And he said, how do I carry my currency with me? And he says, have you traveled abroad? He says, yes, I have traveled abroad because most of my money I have done by going abroad. And what do you do when you go abroad? He says, whenever we go abroad, the currency that we use in this country is of no use. So there is a method of exchanging our currency. So when I go to that country, I exchange to that current currency. And when I come back, I exchange that money to our currency. So Sri Guru Nanak said, exactly in the same way, your wealth can be converted to the currency of the other world by acquiring punya. If you are able to do dana, and that's what exactly he did. Now, those who are able to give in donation all their wealth, they're able to convert their money into another form of a currency. And that is what is called Dharma Purushartha, or which is also called Drishtam. Now, these three Purusharthas, Dharma, Artha, and Kama, are called Preya in Kathopanishad, in contrast to Moksha, which is considered as Shreya. What is Moksha, or the final Purushartha, also called Parama Purushartha? Parama Purushartha or Moksha is called Shreya. Shreya means freedom. Freedom from what? Freedom from the slavery with regard to Dharma, Artha, and Kama. Now, you would have heard that some people give you happiness wherever they go. Some people give you happiness whenever they go. So there are two kinds of ways when you get happy. The presence of people or the absence of people. The presence of wealth or the absence of wealth. The presence of pleasant situations or the absence of pleasant situations. Which means Moksha Purushartha is that condition where a person is in a state of freedom with or without Dharma, Artha, and Kama. 99.9% of humans follow the path of praise, Dharma, Artha, and Kama. Extremely rare, less than 0.001% follow the spiritual path. Those of us who have come to the spiritual path have discovered something which is very nicely said in this verse of Mundakopanishad, which goes like this. Pariksha Lokan Karmachitan Brahmana. Brahmana here means a person who has examined his life, who has looked into his life, who has done pariksha. Pariksha means when you examine your life and see what is that I have acquired through all my worldly accomplishments. I have struggled hard. I have accomplished so much. What is that I have acquired? Now, the important thing is, have we learned from our experiences? Now, this is something very important to learn. Now, more important is the ability to learn from our own experiences. Generally, whenever we have problems in our life, our minds are so disturbed and so upset that we can't learn from our experience. On the other hand, whenever that we have pleasant experience, we don't learn at all. That is why it is so appropriately said, nothing fails like success. You might have had nothing succeeds like success. The truth also is nothing fails like success, because when you are riding on the crest of success, there is no learning experience whatsoever. In unpleasant experiences, the problem is our mind is not available for learning. So, therefore, if there is some technique that I can learn, if I can keep my mind calm, then through those difficulties, when I have hit rock bottom, at those moments, my painful experiences can be a great learning experience. Somebody has very rightly said, when you win, you win. When you lose, you learn, and therefore you win. Now, how do we learn from our experiences? This is the ability to take every unpleasant experience as a gift from God, as a prasada buddhi. We can also learn from the experiences of others if we are sensitive enough. What we learn is money and all the other purusharthas do not give us lasting peace, lasting security, or lasting happiness. All accomplishments. Now, this is something Swamiji has spoken many times. All accomplishments in my lives have three important defects. They are called dukkha mishritvam, atriptikaratvam, and bandhakatvam. Dukkha mishritvatvam means all my successes are mixed with sorrow because there is a lot of effort put to accomplish whatever I have to put. Sometimes you feel I have got it, but at what price? I have put such a heavy price to get. So this is what is called dukkha mishritatvam. The other thing is all of my goals, even though we have got it, there is a feeling of it could have been better. That tripti is not there. Atripti karatvam. I have accomplished, but there is always the but it could have been better. And the biggest danger is bandhakatvam. That means when I have accomplished something, it becomes very difficult for us to relinquish that success in the material world, because whenever it is taken away from me, there is a certain sense of sorrow. Now, is there something which is beyond these three defects? And that is where, when a person gives up that the pleasant path and moves from preyas to shreyas. Pariksha lokan karmachitan brahmana nirvedam ayat. Nirvedam ayat means he develops a vairagya. He develops a kind of a frustration to Dharma, Artha and Kama, because they are no longer fulfilling. Because there is a certain amount of limitations. However hard you struggle, the gap between you and the goal remains there. The faster you go towards the horizon keeps receding. And this is the problem with all worldly success. And the great discovery is kritena akrita nasti. That means through all my karmas, through all my efforts, the infinite can never be achieved through finite efforts. Then what happens? Tad vijnartam sa gurum eva apigachet. Then you will realize that I have to come to a guru. And the guru leads you from Dharma, Artha, Kama to Moksha, Purushartha. The guru tells you that moksha is not an event. You do not have to do anything to accomplish it. You are already that. Now, when the guru says you are already that, there is a real doubt, because I have experienced so much about limitations in myself. The guru and shastra say that you are limitless. Now, there begins the process of enquiry. Now, this is where a spiritual seeker has taken a 180-degree turn from what you normally do. If you always do what you always did, you will always get what you always got. And when this nirvedyam ayat na akrit kritena, that means through my finite efforts, the infinite is not possible, then the guru will show you a new path. Sa gurum eva abhigachet. So you need a preceptor, you need a guide to tell you how. And what does the guru tell you, or what kinds of guru? The guru should be one who has solved his own problems, the one who has attained to Parama Purushartha, one who is an embodiment of Moksha, one who is a Brahmanishta. That means one who is established in the Brahman. That means there is absolutely no difference between him and Brahman, and also has the ability to communicate. Now, if you are fortunate to find such a guru, fortunately, we have discovered such a guru in the form of Swami Paramarthananda, and all whatever we are doing is the teaching that he has guided us, that we are sharing with everybody else. And when you go to such a guru, and you do not go to a guru empty-handed. Symbolically, you carry with you Samit Pani. Samit Pani is symbolic of my ego, symbolic of my past. And then you offer it to the Havan, saying that I'm going to give up my past and give up my ego and come towards the Guru. Tad Vijnartam sa Gurum eva abhigachit Samit Pani Strotriya Brahmanishta. So, in a quick recap, let us look at this mantra once again. Pariksha Lokan. Have I examined my life? Karma Chitan. What is that I have accomplished? And then when you look at all your accomplishments, I have accomplished, but there is so much of dukkha mishritvam, atripti karatvam, and bandhakatvam. I develop a kind of vairagya. Here the word is nirvedyam. And I discover one thing, na asti akrita kritena. What the craving in all of us is, I want to be limitlessly big. I want to be so big that I want to be the biggest. That is my craving. So then I know one thing, through my finite efforts, the infinite is not possible. And if this is my desire, then I have to discover a guru who has discovered his limitlessness. And when you find such a guru, and you go to a guru with your humility, with your Tivra mumukshutvam, O Guru, please show me the path. I will do whatever sadhanas that is required to help me to discover my true nature. You are telling me I am already that, but I don't see that greatness in me. And I surrender to a guru. And this journey is the shift from the path of prayas, the pleasant path, to the path of shreyas. A spiritual journey is an inner journey. Normally, the river is called a dhara as an early stream from the Himalayas. It goes from the source in the Himalayas to the goal in the ocean. But along the path, sometimes the river takes a bend, and sometimes it takes a 180-degree turn. Wherever the river takes a 180 turn, at that convexity, there is always a sacred place. Like Varanasi, Haridwar, important temples are located in such places where the river takes a complete bend. It is said that is where a person is going back to the source, and that is the spiritual journey. Symbolically, the dhara has now become a beloved of the Lord Radha. My greetings to each one of you who have taken on to this spiritual journey, and we will go in stages to understand